Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Virginia Kilmore, and welcome to my studio. That adorable card we'll be making in 2 minutes, but before we get started, I want to talk about the great sale that we're having right now. Don't wait because things are selling out quickly. Make sure to look at the latest list at the bottom of this post. There should be information on what's on sale. Let's get started. So, isn't that a pretty card? This is very similar to a card we made last week, but I wanted to share with you a two-part card because tomorrow we're going to make a fast version of what's left over when we make this little tree. So I wanted to show you that. Plus, I love the bling. Isn't that pretty? The bling always makes a card. Now, we used for this card, 'Tis the Season Designer Series paper, and there's so many beautiful colors that come with it, so you really can't go wrong when you use it. And I also used in the Pines cardstock stamp set. I used the Season's Greetings, but I also used the bundle part where I'm going to use this piece and this piece. And the part that's really neat is they sort of interlock so that you can cut everything all at once. It is a little tricky to get it on just right, but if you do it just right, it will fit and it will do a nice cut for you. So I'm going to set that aside because we're going to need that. And we're going to start out with a large piece of Whisper White cardstock. I have an extra piece there that we don't need. A piece of Designer Series paper, which I'm going to go ahead and glue down. Except for I'm gluing it on the inside, aren't I? Sometimes I just get so distracted. Now, this side would be just as pretty. Should I try that? Yeah. No, I'm going to stick to what my plan was. I do this to myself, and then something goes wrong, and I'm disappointed in myself for making that split decision. It just shows you how comfortable I'm getting with you guys, that I would try something like that, but you could. As I think about it a little bit more, there would be no problem. I know all my friends that are Irish would love the green. So I set that aside, and now I need to cut this, and that gets cut by cutting both this piece and this piece, but that means it has to run through. The best way to get it to cut properly is to get it to run through the machine at the same time. It's sort of anti what you would think should happen, but once it goes through, it will cut really nicely. It's just getting it in place and locking it in. You can sort of feel it locked in. So I'm going to take an 3 3/4 by 5-inch piece of paper, and tomorrow you'll figure out what I did with this. But let's get our big machine in here. This week I received the new little machine. Oh my God, it's so cute. I probably could have used it today. I didn't think about that. Oh well. So I'm going to lay it out, and I'm going to try to center everything very carefully right in the middle. Because I want to use this card stock tomorrow on my card tomorrow. So this is kind of a two-part card. And I'm just going to line it up very carefully. I am going to run it through twice. Just because I'm using so many layers, I want to make sure that everything cuts really well. And now I'm going to go back and one more time. I have not had to do this at all with a lot of my cards, but because this one is 2 dies interlocked, I wanted to make sure it got through. And see how that cut. We'll save this for tomorrow. You'll see what I'm going to do with that tomorrow. And now I just need to take this piece and clean it up. I am going to take my little brush tool and try to get most of these out right here. You can use the pokey tool end. we go. We got them mostly out. Just a couple little stubborn ones. This one is being stubborn. I think the ones towards the edges are the most difficult because you're doing 2 dies at once. So that's the only problem with this is I know you could run it through separately, but I find it really hard to get everything lined up properly. So I have been doing this with this card. We're going to do a bunch of them tomorrow, so I better get this worked out. Okay, almost there. I'm going to set this aside and we'll finish up cleaning this up. I might have to snip a few out. No, they're coming. They're just being stubborn. Okay, I got them almost all out. Try not to rip my design. Yep, this one is the one that's going to need a little bit of extra attention. I think that the die setting together may not be the best route, but I'm going to go with it. There, that's better. This one's got to come out. They usually just pop out so easily. Well, best laid plans, right? Today I'm really embracing my disgrace. Okay, one more little piece. There, got them all out. It's not perfect, but they look pretty good. So there you have it. I have my piece all set. Now it's just a matter of putting my card together. So I have here my piece like this, and again, like we did yesterday, very tiny amounts of glue. And the hard part is because you're gluing it on white, you can't see it, so you tend to put too much glue. But I'm barely squeezing this and getting as little as I can all over. Wherever I see a little thick part, I put little glue. Okay, I think that's enough. I'm going to sort of center it. The measurements for this are on here, and the piece that's left over from cutting this piece will be used tomorrow. So that's the really cool part, is that you're taking 1 6x6 piece of cardstock of designer series paper and turning it into 2 cards. So this was a plaid, this is a little petals. I'm going to make a bow, and the cord is so easy to make a bow. I don't even pull my bow easy out. And just sort of pull on it and make a cute little bow. Oops. Pull on that and then trim it up. And then I'm going to put that on like that. I'm going to use a glue dot for that. So I'm going to grab my glue dot. I like to roll my glue dots for something like this, so I just take the tip of my pokey tool and roll it right on there, and then stick my bow right on top to pull it out. And now I just need to bling it out a little bit with some of my pearl, metallic pearls. I'm running out. I've been using them. I wonder if these are on sale. So I am going to put one here. I probably should have waited till I got my sentiment on, but oh well. Just sort of create a little diagonal there. And then the sentiment's super easy. When you cut cardstock, I always have these scrap pieces left over. They're from cutting down cardstock to different sizes. So I keep those. and I use them all the time to make little banner sentiments. I'm going to go ahead and ink up the Season's Greetings from In the Pine set. I think I showed you that. And to help me better do this, I am going to line it up so I can sort of get an idea of what the center is. Okay, and then I am going to lay this on here and trim it. I probably could use my chopper, but I think I'm pretty good. Go ahead and close that up. Our card is just about done. And tomorrow's card will be just as quick because we'll already have half of it done. I'm going to use 3 of them just so that I make sure that it all lays nice. Super quick cards. We need them now, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? I know my son watches this, so sometimes I like to mention men. There you go. Very quick card, very easy to do. I laid this in a different spot. I like it. I always do that. I change things up as I make them. So I hope you've enjoyed today's presentation. Tomorrow I will be doing a card that's a riff off of this one. So I hope you'll watch. It's even quicker than the one we did today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out the sale.